Alright, so I am going to give you, I guess you can call one of these things a review, I suppose. I have no idea. Of the two most recent Dream Theater albums, that would be Dream Theater's A Dramatic Turn of Events, which features Mike Mangini, because Mike Portnoy left. And the last Portnoy album, which is Dream Theater's Black Clouds and Silver Linings, which is actually probably one of my favorite albums of all time. So, with that being said, let's kind of get this thing started. Just let me choose a song, I suppose. Okay, Count of Tuscany. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go with Black Clouds first. Now this was a rare one for me because normally when I got into the band, I normally go from like their earlier stuff to their new stuff. But I actually downloaded this album and I heard A Nightmare to Remember, which was pretty much one of the greatest songs I think that band's ever made, next to maybe Octavarium, depending on how you look at it. But this album has Nightmare to Remember, Rite of Passage, Wither, Shattered Fortress, Best of Times, and Count of Tuscany. Literally almost every song is over 5 minutes. Wither's only 5:25. That's 25 seconds longer than the 5 minutes, so I'm going to count that as being over 5 minutes. It opens with a 16-minute epic, literally epic song, which is probably one of my most favorites. It's based around it's a story about a bad accident I guess John Petrucci was in when he was a kid. It's a long song. It definitely is a long song. It actually features at the end of the song blast beats, which I didn't even know Mike Portnoy could do, but since he's Mike Portnoy, I'm pretty sure he can do anything. And that has a Rite of Passage, which to me is the weakest song of the album, mostly because it has nothing to do with the overall theme of what the album is talking about. Which, if you know the metaphor, black clouds or silver linings form after some bad thing happened, it doesn't really fit because it's mostly concerning about Freemasonry, which, if you're into that stuff, cool. I still cannot tell you what my favorite song is. I particularly love Wither. I've played that over 40 something times. Shattered Fortress is a great way to end the 12-step suite. It wraps everything up most of the time when I don't want to listen to one of the 12-step suite songs, which is either Glass Prison, This Dying Soul, Root of All Evil, or Repentance. I'll listen to Shattered Fortress. The Best of Times, which is about Portnoy's father, is a absolutely wonderful song. I don't want to say it's your generic progressive rock song, but it has an absolutely phenomenal ending solo by Mr. John Petrucci. And I mean, The Best of Times is 13 minutes. But let me go back to Wither. Wither is pretty much what I found out to be. It's about the writing process for John Petrucci and what it's like for him. When I first heard the song, which was probably 2009, because that's when the album actually did come out, I didn't really care for it because I heard so much at that time about the band being like a progressive metal band, and that song was on demand. And I heard it and I'm like, this is not progressive metal. What the hell is this? Why is this in the metal category on demand? But as things would turn out to be, I end up getting into the band and loving them. Okay, so after that's done, the Count of Tuscany, which is probably one of my favorite songs, I guess you can say. I've played this probably 20 times, maybe more than that. There's a story behind it. Obviously, the story about the song and the story about me getting into it. When I first got this album, I listened to everything up to The Best of Times because I did not want the album to end, which is rare for me because I normally have never done that. I've never done that with albums. But with that being said, when I listen to the whole entire song, there's this one part. I think it's Petrucci's doing volume swells, which you don't really hear much. I would assume it's volume swells. It almost sounds like a lap steel that Jordan's using, but I don't know. It's a phenomenal track, though. This is also, I think, my third or fourth album I bought by these guys, which is rare because I normally don't do that. I never go out and buy a band's previous release, but it's got everything visually wise. It's got the Majesty logo, and then it's got the Wither logo elephant thing. It's got glass being the Shattered Fortress, and then the Freemasonry logo. This album does have a common theme, which is death, which I think the crow symbolizes that. But also, this is the special edition. I had to get it because it came with the instrumental mixes. But yes, it has a bonus disc, the Uncovered 2008-2009 with Stargazer, which is by Rainbow, and then the Queen medley, Odyssey, which is by Dixie Dregs, Take Your Fingers From My Hair, which is Zebra, and then Lark's Tongue and Aspic Part 2, which is an awesome instrumental by King Crimson, and then the To Tame a Land Iron Maiden cover, which is amazing. I actually don't know whether I like the cover more or the original, but the band is so good anyway. James LaBrie has a very similar voice sounding to Bruce Dickinson. But yes, this is Black Clouds and Silver Linings, one of my favorite releases. And I'm actually listening to one of the songs now. Okay. So, if you pay attention in the news about music, I'm pretty sure you have heard about Mike Portnoy leaving Dream Theater, which in some ways, you know, he said it can get stagnant in the music business, which I'm pretty sure if you do it for a long enough time, you're doing the same thing, write, record, and I mean, Dream Theater did have that schedule, write, record, tour, write, record, tour, write, record, tour. So, I don't blame him. It was his decision. Do I think it was a good decision? No, I wish he stayed, because I'm pretty sure it would have been awesome to see them come off a 5-year hiatus and see what the band pulls out of their bag. But the rest of the guys weren't cool with that, so oh well. I can't change it. But I did meet the guy, and I heard I checked out his new band, Adrenaline Mob, which was absolutely amazing. But let's get to the review. Okay, so this is their newest release. Came out September 14th, I think. Sometime in December. First album to feature Mike Mangini. It's got the rest of the same guys. I particularly love the cover, mostly because it's with a unicycle guy riding on a lion which is about to snap. I don't know what the plane symbolizes, but oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna go track by track with this one, just like I did before. Okay, so On the Backs of Angels was the lead single. I actually remember first hearing this. It is phenomenal, a phenomenal song. Typical Dream Theater. I mean, you really, at this point, the band's so far in their career where it almost doesn't even matter. But it still sounds completely different from what Black Clouds and Silver Linings was. So I'm not saying the band made another Black Clouds, because they never do. The band never makes it in the same album twice, it seems. But yeah, On the Backs of Angel, it has a Pull Me Under feel with the opener. You gotta listen closely. I don't actually think so, I'm just putting that out there because there's been whole speculation with this whole album being very similar to Images and Words, which was released in '92. I don't think it is similar at all. But after that's Build Me Up, Break Me Down, which I think the common running theme of this album is just spiritual stuff. We got Lost Not Forgotten, the shortest track, which is 10 minutes. I would assume this track is about, a warrior getting lost and he's not forgotten. This Is the Life is talking about the way some people live their life, obviously. And then Bridges in the Sky, which is absolutely becoming one of my favorite songs, just because of the freaking chorus. And then Outcry, which I think is just talking about, those like peace movements maybe. Far From Heaven, the shortest track on the album, which is a keyboard, just piano, I would assume, and James LaBrie's vocals, which he did write the lyrics for. Breaking All Illusions, which is the longest track on the album, is very Pink Floyd-like, especially in the midsection. Very, Dark Side of the Moon vibe. And then Beneath the Surface, which is the album's closer, which when I first heard this album when it leaked, I was like, why are they closing with a ballad? But I guess it's not the ballad, that's This Is the Life, but it's pretty damn close to a ballad. But Beneath the Surface is definitely, quite interesting. This also comes with a bonus DVD, which is the Spirit Carries On documentary, which kudos to my friend Pat Monet for telling me to check this out, because if it wasn't for this little documentary thing that they aired on YouTube, I would not be into Dream Theater right now, because honestly, this was a very eye-opening experience for me with this band. I never realized how they wrote their songs until this, because I know John Petrucci mentioned, we would jam for an hour, and it was very interesting. It features 7 of the world's greatest drummers, which is Derek Roddy, Mike Mangini, who ended up being their new drummer, Aquilius Priester, Virgil Donati, Thomas Lang. That's just some of them. You can check it out. It's very interesting, very informative. I actually really enjoyed it. I do watch it sometimes, but that's pretty much all about the special edition. But let's go into the opening of it. Okay, it comes with two CDs, which would be the DVDs on this side, and the CD itself, which I guess the bike, I don't know what the hell the bike tire is supposed to stand for, but it's good record. The liner notes, it's got this album has great lyrics too. As you can see, Lost Not Forgotten, This Is the Life, Standing on the Edge, Bridges in the Sky. The current band lineup with Mike Mangini right there, John Petrucci, James LaBrie, Jordan Rudess, and John Myung, not Mike. No, I just said that. Bridges in the Sky, Outcry, Rise Up, Be Counted, Far From Heaven, Breaking All Illusions, and Beneath the Surface. So this album is definitely, if you're a Dream Theater fanboy, I would probably suggest you not listen to this, because I've been seeing a lot of shitty, comments of him leaving the band and people not accepting it. To me, it's just like, let the guy do what he wants, But this is my first review. I just did this out of boredom because I was on Tumblr. But that's it. I'm pretty sure none of you will watch this, but thank you.